No Man's Sky is back in the news. We talked about an update that came out back in the fall, and this is a second update. The only reason why we're talking about this again is because these are features that many wanted in the game when it first came out last year, which is why the game was abandoned so quickly within a month, losing 90% of its player base. This is the Pathfinder update that came out. I wish Ian was around to talk about this because he bought the game and he had fun with it. But imagine if the game launched with these features when it came out. All right? Adds new vehicles, a permadeath mode, base sharing, ship and weapon specialization system, PlayStation 4 Pro update, which I believe means you get that not the higher definition. It's already in HD, Pat. You get that higher contrast, whatever the hell it's called. High contrast and garbage. Anyway, so what you get on the PS4, you get graphic features, high and ultra resolution textures, more accurate ambient lighting, horizon based ambient occlusion. Not sure what that means. High contrast lighting effects, crepuscular rays from the sun. That sounds like a dessert. Improved post processing with several filter options. HDR. That's what I meant. HDR, not higher definition. HDR, which is basically greater contrast. HDR mode for compatible monitors and televisions. And you can get 4K resolution. On the PC as well. You can share your bases. Bases was in that 1.1 upgrade, remember? That was the first sizable update. This is basically 1.2. You can share your bases, what you put together, using Steam Workshop. There's now ship specialization into 4 categories: shuttle, fighter, hauler, explorer. Shuttles are all around ships. Fighters specialize in fighting, combat. Haulers have expanded cargo holds, and science vessels feature increased warp capabilities, and they're now rated by 4 classes: A class, B class, C class, or an S class, which is a rare, hard to find one. With class, I'm guessing that means the stature of the ship in terms of its capabilities and probably how much it costs. And maybe an S1's harder to find out in the market, or maybe you have to discover it. I don't know. I never played the damn game. Wish Ian was here for this. Then there's now land-based vehicles. And there's 3 of them: the Nomad, Roamer, and Colossus. The Colossus is the biggest one, is good for carrying cargo. And you can also you can also make your own courses and do races on planets in a time trial creation. That's pretty, that's not a feature that no one asked to ever be in the damn game, and now it's in there. There's now a permadeath mode, which really is appealing in terms of, if you really want to be a survival game, your character has 1 life, or else you got to start all over from scratch, so you better be damn careful in what you do. That's intriguing to me. That's very intriguing. There's also a new survival mode. Dying in space now will restart you on the nearest planet's surface away from your crashed ship. Alright. And then there's also improvements such as NPC text appearing faster. It can be skipped. You're telling me I couldn't skip text before? Oh my god. Wow. Sign me up for that 1.2 upgrade. Mission log lets you track multiple tasks at once. The UI easier to read. There's a lot more. But this is shit that, again, with the 1.2 stuff, which we talked about before in the 1.2 update, if this had been all in the original release last year, when did this game come out? Last June? If all these updates, August 9th, if these were on there, this would have been Game of the Year candidate. You wouldn't have had people bitching, complaining, and asking for refunds. Rightfully so, by the way. I'm not against that. But saying that this was false advertising, having investigations. If they had waited, I'm not saying it's Hello Games' fault. Sony had something to do with it as well. They wanted this game out. But imagine if they had waited, and 1.2 was the 1.0 release. Imagine the reception this would have gotten. This wouldn't be a 61% on Metacritic and a 5 out of 10 on Steam. Absolutely would not have been. This would have been received a lot better. You would have had a lot less complaints, and you would have been still readily selling it. Or steadily selling it week over week versus getting, a lot of people bought this game, absolutely, but those sales died out pretty damn quick over the hype. And I'm not saying that there isn't need for improvement still. There obviously is stuff that has to be done to this franchise to get it to where do we have the big dinosaurs yet? I still want the big brontosaurus dinosaurs, for God's sake. But this is a game that I'm a lot more interested in. Having different ship classes, which to me is inexcusable, not having that in the original release for a game that's supposed to be exploring space and having combat and being able to have cargo and trade things. Like, how can you not have different ship classes for that? That's just, to me, inexcusable. But adding ground vehicles, things of that nature, being able to store multiple ships, you can own more than one ship. That's fantastic. Trading in your ship for partial credit, like an intergalactic GameStop before you buy a new one. The circle of No Man's Skies. Ship sales. So this is all good news. Again, I'm not sure if this changed anyone's mind who was pissed off when it was released. But for someone like me that would be on Steam one day, be like, oh, if this is a budget title, which hopefully it is. What does this go for on Steam? Is this still like a $60 game? Steam? No. $60 game, No Man's Sky. What does this go for on Steam? This is still $60? All right, they got to do something about that. For some goodwill, they should really knock the price down, at least on sale, to like $30 or $40 to get people back in there. They really should. But then again, they've sold so many copies. Hey, Hello Games like, hey, we're in the money. Ha ha, my honey. Do, 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 do.